Hey, this is D from Magic Game Plan. I've got another cool deck for you. This is the blue-green Infect deck. This list actually won a World Cup Qualifier in France last week, so I had to check it out, and it is pretty fun. I'm just going to show you a couple games so you can see how the deck wins. As always, you can click the link below if you're watching this on YouTube to get the deck list. So this was a game against red-white humans, and I had a really good draw. So one of the ways this deck can win is if it just draws a bunch of mutagenic growths, gets down an early infect creature, and then just goes off and dumps the mutagenic growths to make the infect creature big and lethal. So you can see how this game went. So first I probed him, and then played Glistener Elf on turn 1, probed him again. He had a plains to start off. I hit him for 1 infect, and then I played Blighted Agent. He played Gather the Townsfolk. I played Ponder. Ponder is actually really good in this deck because it helps. It's a combo deck basically, so it helps you dig for the cards you need. So here with Ponder, I see Gutshot, Mutagenic Growth, and Apostle's Blessing. So this is pretty much game because I'm gonna have 3 Mutagenic Growths and a way to make my Glistener Elf unblockable if I need it with Apostle's Blessing. Plus I have an Apostle's Blessing here, so I put Mutagenic Growth on top, and then Apostle's Blessing on Glistener Elf to make it unblockable. Then swing for 2 more in effect, and then use all my Mutagenic Growths. So that would take him to 9 poison counters, and he has Oblivion Ring. But I set up Ponder, so Apostle's Blessing was my next draw to make Glistener Elf unblockable, and then that's lethal infect damage. Okay, so this is another game against a different deck. It's against Esper Control. So I open up with this hand. I've got 6 spells and just Inkmoth Nexus, so I have to mull because I do have Probe, but it's just too risky. I definitely want colored mana in my opener here. So I mulled this, and I have a much better hand with 3 lands, Blighted Agent, Ponder, and Artful Dodge. So he starts off with Seachrome Coast, and I ponder. I see Island, Wild Defiance, and Glistener Elf. So I decide to keep this. It's kind of risky because with this deck you don't want to flood, and you really only need 3 lands. 4 lands can often be too much, but Wild Defiance is really good. And this is only like my second match, so I wasn't sure if I should shuffle this or keep it. So I decided to keep it just because it had Wild Defiance. He played a land, and I cast Blighted Agent, but he had Mana Leak. Then he cast Lingering Souls. Then I cast Wild Defiance, and he hit me for 2, played Nihil Spellbomb. Then I played Glistener Elf, and Ponder. And here I've got Forest, Apostle's Blessing, and Ranger's Guile. Again, I kept this even though I have the land, because if he can't stop Glistener Elf, then I've got enough instants definitely to kill him with Wild Defiance. Plus, my instants make him unblockable, at least Apostle's Blessing and Artful Dodge. So it's kind of risky, because if he has actually it's not that risky, because I can draw Apostle's Blessing to protect Glistener Elf. So the only thing, pinpoint removal like Doomblade or Go for the Throat or Oblivion Ring, I've got Apostle's Blessing to protect. So he pretty much has to have like a Terminus, Miracle, or Wrath of God, and otherwise I'm going to win this game. So he played Seachrome Coast, so I was happy that that land came into play tapped, so he couldn't cast Day of Judgment if he had it. And then here is a pretty cool play, because I cast Apostle's Blessing on Glistener Elf to make it unblockable, and Wild Defiance gives it +3/+3, so it's a 4/4. Then I cast Artful Dodge to make it unblockable, and Wild Defiance makes it a 7/7. Then Artful Dodge Flashback, it becomes a 10/10. And I even have, and then I swung, so he's going to take lethal damage in one hit, 10 infect damage. He does a tricky play with Ghost Quarter to kill his planes to get a swamp and have Go for the Throat. But of course I have Ranger's Guile for the overkill. First it protects Go for the Throat. It protects Glistener Elf from Go for the Throat, and Glistener Elf I think I think it becomes a 14/14 infect. So this game you can definitely see the power of Wild Defiance, and how with a couple instants and Wild Defiance and just one infect creature, you can take him out with one hit. Okay, so here's another game. This was actually in the same match with Esper Control. I won game 1, which you just saw, and then I lost game 2, so this is game 3. So here I have a very good opener. I've got the colored lands that I need, Inkmoth Nexus even, and then I've got the nice curve of Glistener Elf, Blighted Agent, and then Wild Defiance. I didn't have any instants with this hand, but if I just draw 1 or 2, I mean, it's going to be really good since I already have Wild Defiance. So I started off with Glistener Elf, hit him for 1 infect. Then I played Blighted Agent. He cast Phantasma Image to copy Glistener Elf. Here I've only drawn lands so far, which is kind of disappointing. I attacked with Blighted Agent. Then I cast Wild Defiance. Finally drew an instant, but it's naturalized, so it can't even trigger Wild Defiance. I brought in naturalized because he has O-rings, but I'm not sure if it's good enough. It probably is. So here I attack with Inkmoth and Blighted Agent. He has Ghost Quarter, but I don't really mind because he'll be knocking himself down a land. So he took it and went down to 4 poison counters. Then he played Thought Scour. Then he passed a turn. Here I drew Artful Dodge, which is probably one of the best cards I could draw because I can use it twice with Flashback, and I already have Wild Defiance. So I did make a mistake here. Um, what I should have done was just play Artful Dodge twice on Blighted Agent, since it's unblockable. Um, I guess, well, you'll see what I did. So I activated Inkmoth Nexus and then attacked. Oh, I thought Artful Dodge was actually an instant, but it's a sorcery. So, yeah, that's something to keep in mind. What I actually did was Artful Dodge his image, and then Artful Dodge one of my creatures. I did this play because I was playing around removal. For example, if he had like Go for the Throat, and I Artful Dodge Blighted Agent twice, then that's not good for me. I could Artful Dodge Inkmoth Nexus and Blighted Agent, or Glistener Elf and Blighted Agent, but he can chump block Glistener Elf. If I Artful Dodge Blighted Agent and Inkmoth Nexus, he can sack Ghost Quarter. So I'm not really sure what the right play here is. But what I did was Artful Dodge Phantasmal Image to kill it, and then Artful Dodge Glistener Elf. So, again, it's not an instant, so just keep that in mind. I played it like an instant, but my opponent said it was a sorcery, but he allowed me to take back and play it before I attack. Oh, actually, my bad. He didn't let me take it back, so he just took 3 Infect, so he went down to 7. Then he drew his card and conceded. So I guess he didn't have any removal spells. Okay, so here's another game. This one is against Blue-Green Ramp. So in this match, I had already lost game 1, and so this is game 2. So I'm on to play, and I've got a great hand. First turn, Glistener Elf, and then a couple plus Inkmoth Nexus, and then a couple instants. Maybe it's not great, but it's definitely good, pretty good. So I cast Gitaxian Probe, and I see that he's got 3 Forest, Green Sun Zenith, 2 Solemn Simulacrums, and 1 Primeval Titan. So, and I draw Blighted Agent with Gitaxian Probe, so it definitely looks like I can race him here. He played a land, attack with Blighted Agent, play Mutagenic Growth attack with Glistener Elf, use Mutagenic Growth, so he takes 3 poison. Oh, and I drew another Mutagenic Growth. Okay, so my draws were just crazy good this game. So he's already at 5 poison counters. Plays Green Sun Zenith for Llanowar Elves, and then yeah, this was a sick draw because I follow it up with Wild Defiance. He goes to 6 poison counters. He plays Somberwald Sage, and this is just pretty awesome. Artful Dodge on Glistener Elf to make it unblockable. That's really enough to kill him, and I'm still hitting him with Blighted Agent and Inkmoth Nexus. Pretty sweet turn 4 kill. So this is the last game I'll show you. It's against Blue-Green Ramp, the same deck, and it's game 3 of the match, so it's the deciding game. So here, this was kind of crazy. 3 Wild Defiance, Gut Shot, Inkmoth Nexus. It seemed kind of iffy because I only have Inkmoth Nexus, so it's not really like a fast hand, but it does have Wild Defiance. I decided to keep it just to see how it went. Not sure if it's the best keep. Played Llanowar Elves, Played Inkmoth Nexus and gut-shotted his elf. He found Birds of Paradise with Green Sun Zenith. Then I hit him for 1 poison with Inkmoth. He played Somberwald Sage. Here I drew Blighted Agent, which helped a lot. Actually, now looking back, I probably should not have kept that hand, because you don't really need multiple Wild Defiances. Pretty much one is enough. Anyways, this was pretty sweet. He cast Frost Titan, so this was like a turn 4 Frost Titan. I have Apostle's Blessing to protect Blighted Agent. Then I played Wild Defiance, Artful Dodge the Blighted Agent, so it became a 4/4, and he went to 5 in poison counters. He attacked with Frost Titan, tapped Blighted Agent. I went down to 10 life. Then he cast Solemn Simulacrum. I activated Inkmoth. Oh yeah, so here you can see the 2 Wild Defiances. They're pretty much not doing anything, but luckily I top decked Mutagenic Growth. I flashback Artful Dodge on Inkmoth Nexus, which allows it to attack past Birds of Paradise because it's unblockable. And now it's a 4/4. And then it becomes a 6/6 with Mutagenic Growth. Actually a 9/9 when you count the Wild Defiance trigger. So it's a 9/9 unblockable, and he just scoops. So yeah, you can see the 2 Wild Defiances didn't really help me. So it's probably a hand I should have mulliganed, but I got lucky with my draws and was able to win. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see the deck list and you're watching this on YouTube, you can just click the link below the video. And thanks for watching.